What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Man, I want to talk about this viral shit that's been going on with GTA 6. Okay, apparently there's been leaks galore happening, guys, and the title of this video is called Grand Theft Auto 6 Leaked, Pirates Blame Physical Media, Billions Wiped Out in Stock Value. Let's check it out.
But imagine if Disney was about to release a massive Star Wars film back in 2014-15, and imagine if The Force Awakens leaked 2 days before. That would be what this is, right? This is huge. Let's talk about it. From Mashable, they've got this GTA 6 plain video leak suggests CyberLeak has playable version of the game. It says a group called CyberLeak released a new video with a shocking end by Matt Binder. We are not going to put any of the images or videos up for obvious reasons. We'd rather not have the end of the Pro Channel occur today, so we will not be putting any images up from this. But it says at this point, leaks showing alleged gameplay footage from the highly anticipated Grand Theft Auto 6 video game are a seemingly daily occurrence. However, the latest video footage from the leaker group known as CyberLeak contains a clip at the end that points to something more shocking. If the clip is legitimate, it suggests the leakers may have actually gotten a hold of a playable version of GTA 6.
Now listen, as a fellow gamer myself, I'm just going to keep it gangster. I'm going to keep it real. If you know, you know, but a lot of shit's been going on in the gaming community. Okay. Sony in particular, and the likes of just pretty much gaming in general, guys. It's gotten super out of hand with the tariffs and Orange Boy in the White House. The combination of all those things, guys, have caused a lot of drama in the gaming community, making things just overpriced, too much. I mean, even budgets for video games cost millions. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. Some of these games are $300 million. Okay. And to put that into an account, compare that to, I think, the most recent Spider-Man movie that just came out. I think that movie costed about $225 million to make. And some of these games are costing more than that. So that's how crazy it's gotten. These budgets are crazy, guys. I think we've just hit a cap on where we're at when we're dealing with hardware, as opposed to how much it costs to make it and what they have to charge the consumer. And then you add the tariffs and you add the chip shortage. All these things are a recipe for disaster. And Rockstar Games, the company who's in charge of making Grand Theft Auto 6, hasn't done any favors to us gamers either. Okay, when you put out a game that is $80, it's going to be $80. Okay, one of the highest priced games, period, to date anyway. And then you top that off by basically holding some of that game and charging $100 for a separate version of that, right? And this stuff is already in the game. So you want to pay an extra $20 just to get access to certain things that's already in the game. This is the definition of just bleeding the consumer dry. Okay, taking the name and writing it into the ground. And these are some of the practices that a lot of gamers like myself and everybody else, a lot of people who are, just tired of these games. Okay. And to add insult to injury, they have a trailer dropping on the 27th any day now, and they're using Netflix. Okay. So Netflix has paid these guys, I don't know, millions of dollars. Okay, to have exclusive rights to show off what is going to be coming up in this game, Grand Theft Auto 6, when it releases. And they have the rights for 6 hours. So basically, content creators, anybody like us, we can't even get near it for 6 hours. We have no access to it because they've paid millions of dollars to Rockstar to have that exclusive right. So this is where it's going. This is how these greedy execs and these people are capitalizing on this, right? And if you don't have a Netflix account, then you're not going to be able to watch it. You're going to have to wait that 6 hours before you can get your hands on it. And content creators are upset because these people stream this stuff. This is their job, livelihoods, and sometimes, and this is what they do. But they can't even do that because there's an exclusive rights deal for 6 hours with Netflix. It's just getting out of hand, guys. And I'm still buying the game. I'm just going to be honest. I'm still going to buy Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm buying the $80 version. I'm not giving them an extra $20 or whatever, right? And also, you know what I'm saying? I'm not upset that this is happening to them at all. Okay? At all. Not even the slightest bit. You reap what you sow.
The latest GTA 6 video leak from CyberLeak shows gameplay footage of a plane flying over a city, with the city landscape appearing highly detailed in this flyover. And then at the end, the game's protagonist, Jason, shoots at a wall the word L-E-E-K, leak, spelled out with bullets. What is this doing? Well, billions of dollars already wiped out from this. Take-Two has lost around $2.8 billion in market value, which, by the way, is more than the astounding cost of GTA 6. Grand Theft Auto is being made at a cost of about $2 billion and change. $2.8 billion wiped off the stock market for Take-Two.
They're bleeding money. They're hemorrhaging money in the stock market. And that's how sensitive the market can be, as you can see. So, yes, they're taking L's left and right. The leaker has already stated that they're going to continue to put stuff out leading up to the release of the game. And they have a few demands. And some of those demands are make physical copy, because also, if you didn't know, there's not going to be a physical copy of this game. Okay. And it may be one later, because what a lot of people try to do as companies, they try to double dip. They get everybody to buy the digital version, and then they'll wait 90 days until it dies down some. And then they'll say, hey, guess what? We've got a physical version now. And so here's another $80 that you have to spend to buy this. That's another cheap practice that a lot of companies do to try to leverage the market and try to get extra money. And these are just sleazy tactics that a lot of companies are doing, right? And so I say what I say because they deserve this. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm not going to shed a tear for them losing money for their game getting leaked. And what's so ironic about all of this is Rockstar as a company said that one of the major reasons why they weren't doing a physical disc of the game was because of leaks. They didn't want anybody to get an early copy and start leaking stuff. But ironically, that didn't save them. Okay. So now they have basically called upon everybody they could possibly call upon, law enforcement, whoever, to try to find these leakers, right? Going after them. If there's stuff that's leaked on YouTube, they shut it down immediately. They're slapping down channels, striking channels down, whatever they can do. They're using more resources that they didn't expect they would have to use just to circumvent this shit here. So it's just getting out of hand, and they're losing money. They're hemorrhaging money at an astounding rate. And so it's not looking good. And they're not going to find, in my opinion, they're not going to find these guys because they're not even in the States. Okay. And it's going to be very hard for them to find these guys unless they walk into a station and say, I was the hacker. I was the guy doing this. It's caught on too much. And see, that's another thing. I'm going on a tangent here, but you know, anything you're dealing with digital, anything, you can't really put a cap on it. There's no way you can do it. So you're going to, you hear these systems getting jailbroken. I have a lot of stuff that, older systems that no longer are in service or they're no longer supporting. And, now people are coming up with stuff to jailbreak them where you can put games on it and things of that nature. So this is just normal. This is a normal thing. It's just that Rockstar didn't expect this to happen before the game drops, because the game doesn't even come out until November. So they may have to release it early. Some people are saying that they may, postpone it. But what can you do? The damage is done and it's not even over yet. But Rockstar has nobody to blame but themselves when you act and do these things. But the demands they're making are for Rockstar to make physical copies of the game, stop making new tiers, to buy the game, which is the $80 for the base game. And then, if you want to do this or you want exclusives to this store in the game that's already in there, you got to pay an extra $20 for this version of the game. Like, they want all that shit, to stop. But we're dealing with corporations here and they don't care. They really don't care. So as a consumer, I don't care. Yes, I'm going to buy the game, but at the same time, I'm not going to shed a tear if you're losing money or hemorrhaging money because of some of these practices. And I'm not going to support these extra practices that you guys have, right? Just so you can make another dollar, squeeze another penny out of somebody.
Yeah. The stock value was $248 per share before the leaks. Now at $233, the company's total market value fell by more than $2.8 billion in less than 2 days. Lauren, the market has not taken into account yet these new leaks that suggest the entire game could be put out online. If that happens, the anticipated $6 to $8 billion in sales would be gravely damaged. And frankly, this could sink the entire gaming industry. There are so many out there who are depending on GTA 6 doing giant, massive holiday sales. Other gaming companies have avoided the entire holiday season because they don't want to go up against GTA 6. So there's nothing really to replace it. Lauren, this gets really ugly really fast if this isn't shut down, and I don't see how they can stop it.
Acknowledge me.
Quoting Lou here, and I hate to say this, but it's worse than that, bro.
All right. By the way, we're playing a trailer, Lauren. This is a trailer released by Take-Two. We're not playing anything from any of the leaks. Go ahead.
So clearly what they're doing is playing the non-online component, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to authenticate and play. This is going to give further ammunition to the industry to say that they're going to require authentication of the online component for everything so that they can prevent these kinds of releases from working. That's another blow that's going to be to the gaming industry, and it goes to arguments that PlayStation and others are making that they need to be able to control your library and ensure that everybody who accesses that library is authenticated.
It's creating a super shit show, and that's what he's saying. He's basically saying that now DRMs are going to be the authority. And what a DRM is, if you don't know what that is basically your system has to be online so that they can read the game and what the game is doing, so that they can circumvent and they can stop this type of stuff from happening. And they can, pinpoint, even though this game is offline and you don't need to be online to play it, they need an online authenticator to basically check in and say, hey, this guy is playing this game and the game is released, or this guy has a copy and he's playing it and the game is not released yet. Let's shut this shit down. And that's basically going to create a whole nother, ball of drama, because the people aren't going to settle for that. We're already pissed about DRMs now. When you buy a game as a consumer and it's a single player game, you don't need to be online. You should be able to play that whenever you want. You should not have to be connected to the internet to play that. And that's what a lot of people are fighting right now and battling with. And that's why I collect, a lot of games. I'm a collector. I have a lot of older games and older systems and stuff like that, because I enjoy being able to play my shit whenever I want. I pay for this. I pay $50, $60 for this, whatever. And that's just the game. That's not even including the hardware. And I want to play this shit at 2:00 in the morning if I want to, right? I don't want to have to go and have an internet connection to run it through them and make sure it's cool for, you know what I mean? We're not doing that. Most of us aren't doing that. So I'm a Sony fan, or I guess a soon to be ex Sony fan, because PS5 is my cutoff, is what it's looking like. It just is. The shit that they've been doing, guys. I have a Sony hat that I absolutely love, but I'm ashamed to wear it. I feel like a gang member walking through the streets, because if the wrong people see me with that PlayStation hat, I could lose my life. That's what it feels like. That's how I feel, right? I'm always exaggerating, but that's how I feel as a jaded Sony fan and just a jaded gamer in today's time. It's crazy right now. And it's going to get worse before it gets better, is what I'm saying. And a lot of people are going to be dropping Sony and moving on. And I'm thinking about moving on to PC and Steam, because they don't operate like that. I think 80% of how they move in all those games, they don't have DRMs. So you can sit there and play them whenever you want, even though it's software. I mean, and you can play it whenever you want.
Well, what's amazing about this, Lauren, just the production of this is $2 billion, marketing not even included. This GTA 6 then is something like double or triple more the most expensive movie ever made. This is an unbelievably, let me put it this way. The idea that they don't have an authenticator that makes it where you can't play it outside of the offices is unbelievable. The alternative to that is that this leaking group is so good that they have managed to code this game, go in and code some way to pull the authenticator out, which
and that's why I'm excited about stuff like that, because there's always going to be somebody who is going to challenge you. So you can put out these bullshit, codes. You can put out these consumer, these anti-consumer ways, and try to just, you own nothing and put that into the world. But there's always going to be somebody, some militia out here who is going to challenge that and who's going to break that code, right? Just because you work for, a big game company doesn't mean that there's somebody out there better that's not better than you. Just because they don't work for you don't mean that's the best guy. And these guys are finding out ways, and they give shit out for free. right? And so that's how you hackers and modders and all these people, that's what they do, right? They jailbreak things, they figure things out. I mean, they've already figured out how to put Windows on PlayStation 5, okay, Steam on PlayStation 5. So, I mean, it's there. The technology is there. It's just they need to find somebody to do it. And there's people out there who can get it done. And so for every, corporation that's out here rubbing their hands together like Birdman, licking their chops, trying to get over on the consumer, there's somebody out there who is ready to challenge that and ready to Robin Hood their way out here in these digital streets. And I'm all for it, right? So if you want to keep fucking over the consumer the way you keep doing it, I don't care who you are as a company, sooner or later, somebody's going to find out how to get to you. And then we won't be paying for shit. Okay, so if you want to go all digital and you don't want physical, that's fine. There's going to be somebody out here who's going to get you any game you want at any time you want, and you don't have to pay for a goddamn thing. So keep playing with these people out here if you like, because as you can see, they're struggling, they're scrambling, they can't find these people, guys, and they're using the same technology against them.
It'd be unbelievably difficult because you'd imagine that it's encrypted in some way. So whatever's happening here is bonkers.
That actually goes to another argument as well, which is that it's hard to believe that they would be able to get a copy of this without somebody internally providing it to them. And so that also raises questions about
saboteur.
Yeah, and if that's the case, why is somebody internally leaking it? They're obviously wanting to damage the company, if that's the case. And the question then is why? Is it the content of the game? Is it because of the development cycle and crunch time? Is it just a protest against office standards?
Yeah, just so you guys know, the culture in gaming is also pretty toxic. It can be pretty toxic. And they're talking about crunch time. Crunch time is basically, hey, we got to put this game out at this time. So we need people to work 14, 15-hour days for, 7, 8, 9, 10, sometimes weeks until the game is released, or sometimes even right after the game is released, patches and things of that nature. And so a lot of people frown down on that. They're being taken away from their families. They're being run through the mud and asked to do these things with little or no gratitude at all whatsoever. And there's people who are going to be disgruntled in there. There's people that are going to, look at these things, and they're going to try to take certain matters into their own hands and say, okay, cool. You got to watch how you treat people, guys, because all it takes is one person in something like this or a situation like this. And this is what you have. And this is what you're dealing with. And they're getting everything they deserve, in my humble opinion, guys. But I'm not one of these people who are going to say, oh, I'm not going to buy the game. I'm not going to do this and do that. I'm still going to keep it real. I'm still a gamer at heart. I still want to play GTA, and I'm still going to play it and buy it. But I'm not going to partake in some of the things that these guys are trying to sell. I'm not spending anything extra than what the base game is. Okay. And that's where I draw the line. And I don't play online unless I used to just buy Sony's, I think it's $10 a month or something like that, just to have, an online type of situation. I don't do that now. I'll buy a card, for 1 month if I know I'm going to be playing a game that is online that requires me to be online. Other than that, guys, I won't be using it. So I just, I cut the corners whenever I need to, whenever I can. And it looks like the PlayStation 5 is probably going to be my last Sony console. If I'm being honest, guys, from what it's looking like now and where this shit is going, I'd rather just save up for a PC and, hope for the fucking best and live out the glory years, from the PlayStation 5 down, because I still have my PS4. I have my PS3. I'm staring at that right now. So, these companies aren't what they used to be. Sony used to be very, very consumer friendly and for the gamer, but that has died. I think that went away when the PS4 finally took its last breath, if you ask me.
Or is it something else? There's lots of questions that are associated with this.
So my understanding, Lauren, is that we do know why they are doing this ostensibly. So they're suggesting that it has to do with this not having a physical media release. What I would say is that that's just a facade for the narcissism that lies behind, because whatever your opinions are on that, to leak this game in this way can only come, I believe, from a young person's complete and total narcissism and naivete. When you're talking about a game that has the possibility of generating $8 billion in the near term in revenue, and when you're talking about a game that has $2+ billion in investment,
I have to push back on that. I got to push back on that because let's just keep it real, guys. These guys have so much money, it's ridiculous. The money they're making on GTA 5 alone right now, guys, is atrocious. Okay, they're still got money hand over fist on that game. They're bleeding the block dry with that game. Okay, it's been over 10 years since we had a new GTA game. So that should tell you how much money they've made. And they weren't really pressed to put another GTA out because they're making so much money right now. All the games that they're putting out, guys. So let's stop the cap with, somebody being a narcissist and all this type of stuff because they did it, right? And maybe they do have other reasons for doing it, because I did hear that they were doing stuff with a crypto coin and trying to promote that, which has generated some traction. I think last time I checked, it was around 5 million. And hey, everybody has an agenda, but at the same time, these things, just because, that is true, doesn't mean the other stuff is not true as well. You can still, two things can be right at the same time. Okay, is what I'm saying. So I'm not going to shed a tear for, Rockstar when, a lot of stuff they've been doing has been predatory when it comes to the pocketbooks of a lot of consumers. And that's just what it is. And like I said, two things can be right at the same time. I can, not like what they've done in the past or what they've been doing, but I can still like or want to play this game as a gamer, from a gamer standpoint, right? I'm still a gamer. If I see a game that I like, I'm going to want to play it, right? Even though I know they're doing shady shit, right? At the same time. So it's almost like, okay, cool. You're doing this. You're being a little shady here. Oh, what? You're being hacked? They're leaking all your shit? Well, okay. Well. So that's how I am about it. It's not, I'm not here to defend these guys, but at the same time, I'm not one of these guys that's going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that, oh, I'm not supporting them at all. I'm not buying this game. I'm gonna keep it real. And that's just the truth, right? There's no black and white to this. There's definitely shades of gray in all of this. And that's my take on it.
The people that are going to hunt these individuals down, I mean, this is, it seems silly to say this, but this is like an attack on a physical structure of $2 billion of worth or more. Yeah, they will hunt them down ruthlessly, Lauren, and I don't know if they'll find them, but
when it comes to the value wiped out, you're absolutely correct. But this is a conversation that's going on in the industry largely because of what PlayStation has been doing.
This game, this software that they have, guys, it's not in one place. There's no way you can think that this shit is just in one place in somebody's hard drive and some, hovel somewhere overseas. Okay, this shit is in a bunch of different places. It's too late. They're not going to find this leaker, guys. And even if they find him, they're not going to find every copy, and they're cooked.
And the whole piracy argument is that if buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing. And the counter argument to that is, well, what the EULA says when you agree to the terms of service. You recognize that you're buying a license to a game.
You're forced to do that, though. Let's keep it real. Let's be honest. You bought a game, you just spent, $75 after tax on the game. You come home, you're putting it in, and before you can play that game, you have to agree to said agreement. And if you don't, you can't play the game. So of course you're going to hit it because that's a necessary evil, but that doesn't mean because you push that button that you really feel that way. That's what we're forced to do that. And that's part of the reason why this is all going on, because people are tired of being forced to do certain things, especially when you spend your own fucking money on something. We've all went through this. We've seen it with Sony before, where people buy movies and shows on Sony. They lose the license agreement. And what do? They take it from you. They wipe it off of your system, and they don't even give you a fucking refund. So basically, sorry to say, our license agreement ended, and we had to, all the shows that you bought in these movies, we don't have those licenses anymore, and we had to remove it from your system. You no longer have these. You don't have access. Oh, what about my refund? We don't have refunds. We're not giving you that. So this is something that people are trying to prevent, and this is something that people are looking at now with video games. If they can do it with that, they can do it with video games too, and that's why people are so upset. I would be too. I'm not paying $75 for a game only to have it snapped from me because you guys lose a license agreement. I bought that shit. I should be able to play it whenever I fucking want, especially when I grew up doing it the same goddamn way.
And not physical ownership of the game. But a lot of that, I think, is because we have extremely weak consumer protections and we have a legal system that hasn't caught up to EULA abuse. Nobody reads the EULAs. Everybody knows that.
Facts.
And the idea that, in the case of GTA in particular, they're charging to have you go to Netflix and watch a preview trailer of this game. The greed of the corporations in this case is beyond staggering, and I feel that in many ways is abusive. This is something that's happening with all of our media as these companies attempt to do away with physical media so that they can continue to sell you the same product over and over and over. They want you on a treadmill for your revenue at all time.
They monetize everything. They're monetizing every little thing you do. Even if you want to go read articles now, you have to pay certain companies to actually go and read certain shit, right? It's a cesspool out here. It really is. All of these fucking apps, all of these movie apps and show apps, guys, they purposely move them around. I'm an anime fan, a huge anime fan, and Crunchyroll is like my main platform. But there's a lot of things that are not there that you have to go somewhere else because they have it. And it's only something that another company may have one or two things that you would actually go and watch. But you have to subscribe to them to watch that one show just to come back over to the other show. It's ridiculous. And that's what we have here, right? And you think, oh, the app is only $10, but you got 6 or 7 different apps, right? It's almost like they sat in a huddle and all agreed to say, hey, we're all going to allow each other to have certain things so that if they want to watch this, they got to come to you and they got to come to you and you and you. So if they want us all, they got to buy us all. Tragic.
And this is something that I think the legal system actually needs to address. Unfortunately, Congress is primarily made up of geriatrics who don't understand how any of this stuff works.
Now, Polygon is reporting on this, and I find it interesting. All the gaming websites, this is all they're talking about. And folks are going to say, well, Pro, you guys don't cover video games a lot. You cover Halo and some other things, and we've covered Mario in the past. Why are you covering this? And it's like, well, it's a $2 billion asset. It's an investment of at least $2 billion, probably $3 billion when you include all the marketing. And it could sink the entire industry. Really. I mean, imagine if this game, if we find out that it's woke and that gets out there online before it releases, you could cut the sales by 30, 40% and unbelievable damage. And you could have another Atari situation where the gaming industry got out of the way of this and then there is no this there for the holidays. Look at Polygon, how much they're writing about this. The aftermath of GTA 6's gameplay leaks has turned ugly. GTA 6 is too big for these leaks to hurt. Oh, it's not. GTA 6 hackers say new leak is meant to punish Rockstar for the ... We'll go there in just a minute. But the new GTA 6 leak implies hackers have a playable build. For James reporting on that, we'll go to this one though. It says, we're not going to read your ads. GTA 6 hackers say new leak is meant to punish Rockstar for the game's lack of discs. CyberLeaks say they are fighting for gamers' rights with recent GTA 6 gameplay and map leaks. Patricia Hernandez writing this one. Lauren, they can say that, but I'm afraid these people, whoever they are, given the value that we're talking about, I'm afraid that they are likely to go to jail for life. And I don't think that I want to go to jail for life for something like physical media discs. I think there are better ways to do this, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I don't think they'll go to jail for life. I think that's probably an exaggeration, but there will be a stiff
How long?
penalty. Well,
20 years?
I don't know what the normal statute would say, but I don't think that you're going to get a life sentence for that. We have murderers that are turned out in a few years. And granted, this is a financial crime, and we tend to punish those pretty stiffly.
White collar.
Which is wild.
If
you
you're
take
right,
a life, but don't take my money, right?
But if you're right that this is a kid doing this, or a group of kids, then I have a feeling there will be some leniency involved. Either way, I think the problem with this at large is that, again, it's going to bolster the argument from the publishers that they need to control the media.
Listen, guys, they're not going to catch these guys. They're not going to catch them. I don't believe that. Now, if they end up catching them and I'm wrong, I will be the first one to admit it. But my humble opinion, they're not catching these guys. And the number one reason why I think they're not going to do that is because, guys, this is not in the United States. I want to say this is Russia somewhere or something like that. It's not in the United States. So locating these guys in another country, trying to find it, it's not going to happen. I mean, we hear about all of the Indians all the time in other countries who are known for scams and getting people to, going after senior citizens and going after their pocketbooks and tricking them into doing things and clicking buttons and getting into their accounts, guys. And there's no real punishment that can be done. I've actually watched YouTubers who, make it their duty to go after these guys, but in a whole nother country. But there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can do to them in a separate country. Different rules, different regulations, all of that. So that's why I don't think these guys are going to be caught. And I don't see it. I've seen other articles and I've seen things where they've made a statement saying, basically, guys, it's not in one place. This shit is everywhere now. We have different spots spread. This shit is spread out everywhere. It's not sitting in some, single place. Okay. And so I've even heard people say they've beaten the game already and they gave it a 9 out of a 10. So it's too far gone, in my opinion. The damage has technically been done. The only question now is how much more damage will be done before the release date, guys, and who will actually care? How will this affect their bottom line as a whole when it's all said and done? Because it already has, as you saw earlier in the video. The stock has definitely plummeted right now. I don't know what else. You're going to have a lot of people who aren't even into this. They're not even looking at this stuff. It's not even in their algorithm. They just know they want to play GTA 6 and they're going to play it. So there is a core group of those people who will, just buy the game. And there's people like me who know what's going on, who know all this shit, who's still going to buy the game because I want to play the game. I want to experience the game. But that still doesn't take away from my disdain for Rockstar as what they, as a company and what they've been doing lately. And in every company, for the most part, PlayStation and the likes of all these guys. So, they get what they get. When you out here and you're doing certain things, you cannot get upset when people take matters into their own hands. That's just part of the game. And if you weren't doing all this stuff and you weren't moving like this as a business, I think a lot of this, you could avoid. But it is what it is, guys.
The irony is that they didn't succeed in controlling the media themselves. They failed in that attempt. So I'm a little more split on this than you are. Do I think this was right and should have been done? No. Do I understand why it was done? Yes. And I think that the industry has done an awful lot of damage to itself. And if it is on the verge of collapse, well, it has brought that on itself. It has been predatory to their own customer base. It has been rapacious in how they continue to boost the costs of all of these games that they have. In the case of Nintendo, for instance, they have an extremely harsh stance on emulation.
Nintendo's another one, guys. Nintendo is another one. That's what I'm saying. They all move to the beat of their own drum. And it's bottom line. It used to be, back in the day, it used to be about the player, about the consumer. Same thing with Nintendo. They used to care at one point in time. They used to give a damn. And Sony definitely did too. So you're at a point now where money reigns supreme. And that's all you care about. How can we squeeze this dollar, that dollar out of the consumer? How can we get over on them? And this is just another story being told in the book of gaming and where we're at right now, guys. And so I'm not going to shed a tear. I'm not sad at all. A lot of this stuff is deserved. You cannot continue to step on people and continue to think that everything is going to be the same, because it's not.
Which is technically allowed. You are allowed to shift software that you have purchased. They're going to claim you haven't purchased to another medium, continue to be able to play it. They are just weakening consumer rights. So I don't have a whole lot of sympathy in this case. That may make me a bad guy, but
no,
I'm
it
not
doesn't.
Cry for these guys.
I rock with you, Lauren.
Is it also fair to say, Lauren, that if they failed to have some sort of system in place to make it where it authenticates only in their offices to play, that this is absolutely incompetent and crazy? Just crazy to have a $2 billion playable build that can be taken somewhere else.
Yeah, it seems to me that there were a lot of failures that had to occur for this to happen, and this would seem to me to be likely at least partially an inside job, but I'm sure more details are going to come out, and we'll hopefully learn more about how it occurred. It'll be interesting to find out whether Leaks actually explains how they did it themselves. They may want to conceal their sources and methods, but if they really want to hurt the company, exposing how this was late may hurt them more. You never know.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. It's not going to, the game's going to sell. The game's going to sell. Everybody wants to buy this game. But especially if they put out information, that the game is woke or something like that, they could dampen sales. And for people who are interested in the single player experience, if they're able to successfully disseminate that, what the campaign is, that will definitely also damage. And we're watching that from the investors. Again, we are so early in the story with what's happened today that we don't know how the stock will be affected by the latest. But more than $2 billion wiped off of Take-Two is no small deal. And it could get way, way worse, Lauren. Much, much worse.
It's going to.
Yeah, this is a giant black eye, and especially let's forget even about the story content. If it's woke or if it's not, it doesn't matter. Part of the appeal of these kinds of campaigns, these marketing campaigns, is just the pure surprise of whatever's going to happen on release day when everybody gets it installed and begins playing the game. There's a high there that you chase as a gamer looking forward to release day, and if you choose to watch the footage or see the images that have been released, some of that's going to be robbed for you, and that will depress enthusiasm, whether you are still in favor of the game or not.
All right, I'm going to end it there, guys. Bottom line, Rockstar has made a boo-boo. They've poured into a glass where they thought they could continue to keep pouring and ended up going over. Okay. And that's what happens when you continue to tote the line and you continue to try to squeeze and use the name of GTA 6. Because let's just keep it real. They're running and riding on a success of past games. They know this game is highly anticipated, the most anticipated game in probably decades, right? And so long, since way back in the day. And they're using that. And I think they got beside themselves and they underestimated the people, the community, and what they might do if pushed, a little too far. And I think this is the result of that, guys. I think that's just what it is. And then also they, of course, they're going to try to make some money on the side with the crypto shit. So, like I said before earlier, two things can be right at the same time. And this is just a result of that, guys. So if you're a company out here and you're looking into, and you're in the gaming scene and sector, just tread lightly is what I could tell you. And be very careful how you treat the consumers out here, because people are getting tired of dealing with trash and dealing with bullshit. And this economy right now is shot, if I'm being honest. We are in a recession. I don't care what anyone says. And people are getting tired. They're finding new ways. And best believe if this game comes out and somebody can get a hold of it for free and play it for free, they're going to do it. So, okay, these companies have no alliance to the consumer. They can give a damn. It's just a number. We're just numbers to them. So what do you think the consumer is going to do, or how the consumer is going to feel if they can get something for nothing? So I'm going to leave it there, guys. If you like the content, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I do content all the time on this channel. And with that being said, guys, I will see you all in the next video.